Welcome once again to the Movie Stuff Show. My name is Dan. Joining me this week, just again, it's Marty. I'm lame. I didn't get anyone to join us on the show this week.
I think we can drop the idea that I'm just joining you every week. We can.
Yeah, it's something I've been saying. But here's the thing: it's something I've been saying since my early podcasts. It's just my shtick. No matter who my permanent co-host is, I always say joining me this week. It's what I've been doing since I've been podcasting. I can't stop doing that.
You don't break habits well.
I don't want to though. Like, it's one of the things I used to do. I haven't done it in a while. Is I used to really accentuate the and. I used to go, and welcome once again to the Movie Stuff Show. I've kind of dropped that because I've just gotten lazy. See, I drop some habits.
And you've lost some of the timber in your old age, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Yep. Marty is always with me. It's true. He's seen some stuff. He's been there. I've seen some stuff too. We have stories about each other. That's the good news is the amount of bad stories I have about Marty.
Oh,
he has the same amount of bad stories about me. So
we
just kind of cancels out.
We are USA and Russia in the 80s. We are.
We can't. There's not much.
Agreed upon annihilation. No. We've somehow lost that virtue in our world today. I don't know why.
Yeah, I blame Bayonne.
blame Bayonne for a lot of the world's troubles.
It's a fair point. Is Trump from Bayonne?
No, his dipshit son-in-law does a lot of work down there in New Jersey City and Bayonne.
Yeah. You watch John Oliver, right?
Yeah.
Every time I think of Jared Kushner, all I think of John Oliver having Gilbert Gottfried overlapping the voice. I'm Jared Kushner.
Yeah, we still really don't know what that guy sounds like.
No, I don't think I've ever heard him talk. Yeah.
I think he's done one presser, and his whole reign now is the czar of all czars of our government.
Jesus.
Without clearance,
Jesus. Yeah. What's great is this week we can talk politics and not have to worry about someone in the chat.
That's true. And today is a big day politically, apparently.
Is it? What's going on? Is the Democrat in Pennsylvania winning?
Still, I'm following Mike. He's already given out if they don't win vibes, so I don't know. Not a good sign.
I mean, Trump's what, 5 for 5?
Yeah, he's losing most of them. Just lost that little Senate seat in the reddest state in the union.
Yeah, but he's 5 for 5. Right. Everyone he's backed is won. Didn't he originally back the other guy there too?
Yeah, he
lost.
Yeah, he lost the runoff guy too.
Who might have won? That's the shame.
It would have won quite easily, actually.
Oh God! All right, listen. It's not a political show. We don't have to talk politics. No. We'll talk movies and stuff. That was some stuff right before. We talked some stuff. So now we'll talk some movies. Ingrid Goes West. It's funny. I saw the trailer for this a while ago, and I said to Aaron, I was like, I'm interested in seeing this. It looks pretty good. Kind of gave off this single white female vibe, which they blatantly made mention of in the movie. It stars Aubrey Plaza. She plays the title character Ingrid, and Ingrid Goes West. So basically, Ingrid's this social media stalker, we'll call her. She follows people on social media, mostly Instagram, I believe, and becomes obsessed with them, and it all goes awry. And the main plot point here is she moves out to Los Angeles to follow Elizabeth Olsen's character. Her name is Taylor Sloan, which is such a 90210 90s Melrose Place kind of character. It's like Taylor Sloan. It's so ridiculous. It's so over the top. I wish I did at one point. They say the name is fake. Is her name actually Taylor Sloan? Because it seems so made up and plastic. I don't think
they didn't go that far, but yeah, it's clear that she's not a real person.
No.
That was one of my issues with the movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec, because I have some issues too. So she moves out to LA to follow this Taylor Sloan and strikes up a friendship with her. surprisingly, and it goes to shit. I mean, that's the plot in the nutshell, right? I don't think I missed anything in
Well,
there.
it's kind of a modern day, like you said, modern day single life film, but also modern day idea of stalking, as opposed,
Right,
when
right.
in the world of social media,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of plays off the idea of everyone follows everybody on social media essentially, but the idea that there's always that one person out there that can take it too far. Like the beginning of the movie is we see her liking all these wedding photos, and you think, oh, she's just liking her friends' pictures, or she's liking, there are just generic wedding photos that you see
Right.
online sometimes. It's just like, and then she runs, we see her storming into this wedding and spitting and macing, I think
Mm-hmm.
the
She
bride,
missed. Yeah, she pepper sprayed the bride. Yeah.
and you don't know at first, was this a friendship gone awry thing where she doesn't get invited to the wedding, or was it, did they have falling out? Were they friends? But as we, so we have that scene. Aubrey Plaza's character goes into a mental institute for a while. It seems we don't really get an idea of how long it was, maybe a couple months.
Yeah.
But then we find out from just a passerby that it wasn't that they were friends or anything. The woman and the woman who got married just liked something of Ingrid
Ingrid's,
on Instagram once, and they kind of had a little slight back and forth on Instagram maybe, and she just kind of built up this friendship in her head, which you do see in the news a lot with some somewhat tragic results in some instances.
Yep.
So then it just takes off from there, where she finds this Elizabeth Olsen character who is the prototypical vapid kind of Facebook, Instagram poster where she's throwing out the quotes from books she hasn't read,
and making money off of things. Like
yeah,
she's basically just paid to talk about this purse or there's quite a few Instagrammers that do that.
yeah. So we realize throughout the movie that she's not even a real person either. So it's kind of dual
Mm-hmm.
fake people, storyline.
Which you said you have issues with. I actually like that dual. I like the
I liked
concept
it.
of it. I like the
I just
concept.
didn't
I don't
like
know the execution of it.
it. Didn't pay off.
No,
That was my.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
I loved the idea.
I was
first.
into this movie for probably about 75% of it, and then the last 25%. And they had a couple of cool twists and turns, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think the payoff at the end, it wasn't a payoff, right?
Well, what happened to her, it was very easy to see coming.
Mm-hmm.
But then they didn't pay off the whole other whole other part of the movie there. It's telling, essentially.
Yeah.
Once we get into a little, we'll say major spoilers for anything we say after
get
that.
the major spoilers. So a couple other people in this movie. We'll start off with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Ice Cube's son.
Of Straight Outta Compton fame.
Who played Ice Cube, right? He played Ice Cube in
Big stretch for him.
Yeah. I liked him in this.
He was funny.
He's very, very, very funny. I liked him. He's obsessed with Batman. That kind of had a little bit of his backstory. He had the sweatshirt from Batman Forever.
I just like
this character.
Everything kind of, he saw everything through the eyes of Batman, essentially.
Yeah.
He wanted her to be Catwoman, and then oh no, I see your Two-Face now. So he just kind of dropped one line like that. He was, she moves out west, like we said, and he's somehow the landlord of this little area where she wants to live in.
Yeah.
And is probably the most trusting person that he shouldn't be. He lends her car, and she wrecks it almost, And again, he was also odd. Everyone's odd in this movie, essentially. It's just different levels. And he was this, almost pretending to be a screenwriter idea, where he's trying to write the next. It's like, oh, I'm a writer. It's like, I'm writing the next Batman. It's like, well, it's not licensed, but
Yeah. Right. Very likable character, though. I really overall enjoyed him. And then you have Wyatt Russell. He played Ezra, the husband to Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, also from the Goon.
Hashtag synergy. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, he was the other Goon in Goon 2, Last of the Enforcers. Hashtag synergy.
And he was another character which was I liked. He was, he's married to Elizabeth Olsen, and he's the kind of LA typical douche. They go to the farmer's market to get the food. They're kind of all,
I do have an issue with this character at the end, though. I don't get to it.
At the end, yeah, he didn't pay off as well, because you thought he might have seen through everything, but he didn't. His job as an artist is he puts jag-off slogans on art that he didn't create. Like, one of the things he does is whatever picture was, and he had OMG written on it, or he had squad goals written on another one. So it just kind of empty phrases that he puts on other people's pictures and calls himself an artist. But he has a few more points in the movie where you notice that he doesn't even like that he's doing that. That maybe his wife pushed him into doing this,
right?
And he knows he's not a real artist, and he hates, basically what they're doing. But in the end, he just takes her side again, and we don't get anything.
Yeah. So we'll get into that a little bit. Billy Magnuson, we know him from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He played one of the son. He played one of the sons from which was he one of the Schneider sons maybe?
Yeah, he plays Russ.
Russ, and then he was also Kato Kalin, right, in American Crime Story. So he plays Nicky, Nicky. Right.
Yeah, brother.
Nicky, the brother of Elizabeth Olsen, who's kind of like a drug addict, flaky kind of. He is terrible human being. So, overall, I thought they had some great characters assembled in this movie, and for 2/3 of the movie, it was enjoyable. It just drops off. It falls off a cliff in that last third or so, and I guess the last point about casting we'll talk about. I'm going to mess up her name. Palm Clementif. Do you know who she is? She plays Mantis.
Yes.
In Guardians of the Galaxy. So you have Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
From Avengers, and funny enough, is Aubrey Plaza is also in Legion on FX, which is an X-Men thing. So it's Marvel. So kind of connected.
I mean, there are so many of the movies now. It's hard not to be in one of them.
Yeah, right. I'm in one of them.
Yeah.
I'm. It's all the way in the background though. I get smashed. And
we were kind of in the first Avengers.
Well, our old building.
Our old building. We
Well,
probably would have died.
Your current building. My old building. Go. Yeah. Right. I think did I say your current, my old? Because I think that's not right. Yeah. All right.
But even like it's basically a 4-person movie. There wasn't much outside of them.
No. Go into it, Marty. What did you like and not like about this? Well,
like I said, we built up this idea that Aubrey Plaza, Ingrid character, is a social media stalker. Her whole life, she has a lot of money because her mom died and left her. We don't understand. We don't even know if that's true. There's so much of it we don't know if actually is true.
Well, she died. We saw the letter. Yeah, we saw the letter.
Yeah, we saw the letter, but we don't know how much money she had, or.
Well, I think it said 62,000. Oh, well, we don't know how much her mother had, but there was a letter that was from the from an attorney or something like that, saying that she was left $62,000. That's what she was left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched some of this on my phone, so I might have missed some of the fine print.
Look at that! Look at that great Guinness can. Isn't that fantastic?
It's St. Patrick's Day week. We're getting ready to go.
Yeah, you got Notre Dame on. I'm drinking Guinness. We are ready to go. I don't have green on though. I should have switched to my Celtics gear.
So she's throwing money over town, and she can impress Elizabeth's character with that kind of money. And there's no redemptive moment really on either side, because we know she's a big fake of how and we slowly see Elizabeth Olsen character is completely fraudulent. Yeah. Not so much that she's lying about who she is, but she built up this media, Instagram following, and it's the kind of stuff you see from anybody. She's quoting, it's 5:00 somewhere. She's posting margaritas when she's not there, and instead of Ingrid kind of figuring that out, because she figures it out that she's not really who she is on Instagram, she still doesn't see that she's wrong until almost the very end, and even barely at that point.
Yeah.
Like she has a quick moment where she confronts her over what she is, but by then she had already blown all the money. In the beginning of when they first meet, she kind of tells her of this dream house she wants to buy. And then Aubrey, once the relationship goes to shit, she goes and buys the house, and that even didn't go anywhere. She didn't even tell them that she did that. So I'm not sure why that was even part of it. And then, like I said, there are scenes where Ezra's character, he said, admits that he knows Taylor's character is, bullshit. He doesn't even talk. He can't even talk to her anymore because she's not a real person. But he never says that to her. So they never, Taylor. We see Ingrid gets called in her shit on multiple occasions and has to deal with the reality of her actions. but no one else does.
Right. Talia is saying that since it's St. Patrick's Week, we should be reviewing an Irish-themed film. I was thinking after Ingrid Goes West, we would talk about some of our Irish, favorite Irish films. So
I'm just gonna talk about The Departed.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Shanty Irish. I remember you going on a Shanty Irish rant at one point. One hashtag Shanty. We'll talk about some Irish films or Irish actors. I'm married. Hey, listen, I'm married to a woman named Erin.
There you go.
She's Irish, right? So that's good enough, right? Yeah, to move the plot along, right? So Ingrid befriends Elizabeth Olsen's character Taylor, and it's going pretty well for a while, and then Taylor finds another Instagrammer who's even above her, and she has a chance to be friends with her, so leaves Ingrid in the dust, right? So Taylor leaves Ingrid in the dust, and Ingrid gets very resentful about it, and keeps going off the rails with the relationship. Nicky, the brother, shows up from Paris or prison. I think that he was in prison or something like that, honestly. And he shows up, and I guess he either sees through Ingrid or just doesn't like her or whatever it is. He just treats her like crap, and ruins, finds out, steals her phone, finds out her password, and then finds out who she is and tries to blackmail her for like $5,000 a month.
It's random.
Yeah. Well, I figure, she knew how much money she had, so
I guess, but still.
So tries to blackmail her, and Ingrid just doesn't want anything about it. So she and Ice Cube's son, what's his name? His name Dan.
Real name is movie in Dan in the movie. Dan Pinto.
Dan Pinto. So they kidnap. First, she gets a teenager to punch her in the face and tells Ice Cube's son that Nicky had assaulted her and has been trying to blackmail her. So they kidnap him and take him to the desert, and it just goes horribly wrong. And then what's messed up is Nicky tries to shoot Ice Cube in the head, Ice Cube's son in the head. Like, it's lucky that was a paintball gun, but was aiming to kill. That was kind of messed up. Leave him out in the desert to kind of die. He gets saved, and then
we don't see any of that though. That was weird to me. I figured he was dead.
Yeah, I didn't figure he was dead. I figured he was.
Yeah. I mean, she hit him in the head with a tire iron, I think.
Something. Yeah, right.
And they just leave him out there. He figured he's dead. I mean, there was no reason to think he wasn't dead when they.
I know. I thought he would survive just because it just seemed like he wasn't going to be killed. I don't think they murdered him. That would have been a cool twist, actually.
Yeah, I thought that's where they were going. They were going to bury him out there or some shit.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a dark comedy. You weren't sure how dark they were going to get with it. They didn't go super dark with it. That would have been the way. I mean, how to do it, I guess.
So Elizabeth Olsen's character finds out Nicky returns, and Aubrey Plaza's trying to connect with her, and finally the husband, Violet Russell, picks up the phone and says, "Hey, quit stalking her, you psychopath, yada, yada, yada." And this is what I didn't like. It's because he hated this guy, Nicky.
Yeah.
He absolutely hated this guy, Nicky. So this guy, Nicky, shows up and comes up with this story of, like, he's all beaten up and just like, it's your friend, like, this is what's going on. And, like, I would expect, like, Wyatt, that Ezra character to, like, not believe him.
Yeah.
And, like, see some scenes there where, like, he comes back and he storms out. Like, I would have actually liked that. That would have been a cool scene, right? Nicky showing up all beaten up, him telling his story, and Ezra's like, "You're full of crap, you're a drug addict, you're a loser," and then, Taylor taking Nicky's side, and then Ezra just leaving and then being out. I would have liked to see that.
And it was also, he's like, we're not going to call the cops because he tried to blackmail you. It's like, that's not really on the same level. You can still call the cops there.
Yeah. Well, he also assaulted Ice Cube's son, though. So.
Well, he was handcuffed and held at what he thought was gunpoint at the time. I think you're allowed to fight back. I think so. When you're handcuffed.
Okay. All right. Fair point.
Him too. And then they show, and we'll skip to that part later. But then when they show Dan again, he's in some kind of wheelchair. We don't know No, he's in a scooter of some kind. Well, there was no indication that he was crippled or anything in this fight. I don't know why he couldn't walk.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So it was a good. Like I said, we had a good story going. They're building something. Then just they fell into a couple of plot holes.
And then from that point on, and then it results with Aubrey Plaza's character going on Instagram, like doing a live video stream like this, okay?
Yeah.
And trying to commit suicide. And
but it was so obvious that when they were doing it, that she did this whole video, almost coming clean about who she was, but not really. Still trying to, if she was really realized how stupid she had been, she would have just done it without going on Instagram. But inside her, she still wants to be an Instagram star. So what was going to happen? She was going to send out this suicide message. I wasn't even sure to begin with if she was actually if she was really doing it, if she was just faking the suicide. Because you see these, you see these kind of messages, not so much suicide messages on Instagram, but these kind of, I'm giving up, videos, or people being just saying they're done with whatever, and they get all the, keep fighting, whatever type fucking responses from strangers. So, it turns out she gets, when she wakes up from having killed herself, attempted, who knows how much she even took. She downs some pills with Corona. And then, so it's like, oh, you got all the, everyone retweeted your thing. You're a hashtag. You're a, famous, whatever.
And I think even Elizabeth Olsen's voice, you can hear that. I think she's the last one.
Was she?
I think so. I think Elizabeth Olsen's character is the last one that says, "I'm Ingrid Thorburn," whatever.
Which is perfect for her because she's, shows that she's still a complete fucking fraud.
Yep. Yeah, I believe so. I believe she's the last voice.
So she got what she wanted in the end. She's a viral star, and it's it ends with kind of going to dark with some kind of ominous music. We're knowing that she's just going to keep. This is only going to feed into that and make it worse, basically. Because even then, she'll be famous for 2 minutes probably, and she'll be forgotten by the end of the week. But that wouldn't be enough for her, I assume.
And listen, I've known people that are always looking for the next best thing when they have friends, and they're always looking for the next best friend, and always thinking ahead of like, oh, I can do better than this. And Aubrey's character kind of fits into that mold where, legitimately, she could have just had Dan as a friend. Like he genuinely liked her and wanted to hang out with her, and that could have been an actual human friendship. But she creates this idealized sense of friendship in her mind, and it's no, I can do better than this. Taylor's so much better than Dan, right? Which is true. I'm a Dan, I know. Taylor's much better. Taylor Swift much better than Dan. Yeah, not many famous Dans, right? Dan Quayle.
That's a rough one.
Come to mind. Not a lot of Dans.
Dan Marley.
Hey.
Dan Aykroyd. That's probably your best one.
He kind of fell off of a cliff.
Well, he by choice.
Are you looking up famous Dans now?
I'm going to look up famous Dans.
Famous Dans. Hashtag famous Dan.
Dan Schneider.
God. He's famous, all right.
Not getting a lot here, I'm not going to lie.
No. Not a lot of Dans. Daniel Day-Lewis. There you go.
Got a couple of YouTube stars and Instagram
stars. Daniel Day-Lewis. He counts.
That's a rough. Dan Marino. There you go.
Dan Marino. Daniel Day-Lewis. I'll take it. And he'll probably show up in some of those Irish movies we talked about in a little bit.
He's in most of them.
He's probably. It's him and Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Right. Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, Dan Rather. There you go.
Yeah. Dads. See, there's a difference between Daniel and Dan, though.
Yeah.
It's funny, at work, I'm Dan. Like, all my business cards and my email and everything says Daniel. No one calls me Daniel.
No, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
You got some famous Dannys. You're not really a Danny either.
Danny McBride. Right.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I'm not a Danny. There's very few people call me Danny.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard it.
No.
To be honest.
No, it's not many. Anyway. Ingrid Goes West. Yeah. Can you recommend someone to watch this? I mean,
I mean, it was interesting for Aubrey Plaza because we've seen her in Parks and Recs, and she did that movie with Anna Kendrick where they're kind of drunk idiot girls. So I was worried that this is going to be another kind of version of that character.
Right.
So I was glad to see her kind of do something else. This is a different role for her. And Elizabeth Olsen kind of.
Ooh, I mean, bad one, Talia. Danny Masterson. I do not want to be associated with Danny Masterson. I'm sorry.
It's all
no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting topic for the times we live in because I mean we all fall victim to this kind of stuff. Someone likes your when one of the people in the movies we talk about likes one of our tweets, we get excited about it. It's easy to fall down that hole, and it's completely to see when you find someone who's maybe a little unbalanced can get create these relationships in their head online. So I mean, to the times we live in, it's definitely a worthwhile topic to discuss. I just don't think it did enough with it. It exposed all Ingrid's character for being damaged, but it didn't do enough to talk about the ideas of what the Taylor character is doing as far as building up this fake life and making that trying to build pretending you're someone you're not, even for good when essentially.
Yeah, and as my wife points out in the chat, it was good enough, but I never watched it again. Yeah, there's no reason to. It has no rewatch value.
No, yeah, it came out. I'm not sure if it was
did Hulu.
No, I don't think
Hulu
it. No, released it. No, it was out in 2017. It did a couple of things in there. I don't know if it was meant for wide release. I don't know. It may have been a kind of darling of what do you call it?
Indie film
indie
circuit.
Contests, all those things.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on Hulu. I saw it.
Indie
film
as I was watching.
It's probably it's probably big on those. It's got some stars in it, and Elizabeth Olsen's a big star.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, star powers doesn't mean everything.
No,
there's a lot of bad stuff that comes out. Direct to
video. If you have Hulu, I mean, it's of course watch
Sure,
it.
Yeah, it's free. We didn't have to pay for it.
No.
Well,
I got someone else's Hulu account, so I'm good to go.
Me too. Yeah. I have I have Netflix and Hulu from someone, and they have my HBO and Showtime.
Yeah, almost the same thing. We got they have
Verizon. They have my Verizon. Yeah.
So whatever they want to do with that.
I mean, no, they don't Verizon. I'm kidding. I don't do those things.
So if anyone thinks we're doing a Hulu commercial or something here, they don't pay us and we don't pay them.
That's right. We do pay Amazon. Like that's the one because we have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon you got to pay because.
But it's so worth it.
It's more for the shipping than anything else. Really,
it is so worth it. Honestly, the Amazon shipping for Amazon Prime is totally worth it because I go to stores. I still do.
Yeah.
But my default is if I need something, I just go to Amazon. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can get this in 2 days. That's fine.
As you guys talk on Facebook about how sad it is that Toys R Us is going out of business this week.
We're the problem. We're the problem.
I go to Toys R Us every Christmas, but I guess just the once a year is not enough to keep them going.
Yeah, I mean, we go to Toys R Us. We go to Toys R Us just to have a fun day, right?
Yeah.
Just to walk around. But I'm equally fine with Target.
Yeah.
It's a different experience though, because Target has 10 aisles worth of toys, and Toys R Us is literally a toy store. I didn't see. Is Babies R Us gone too, or is Babies R Us surviving?
I haven't looked. Yeah, I haven't looked at it too close, but I assume the whole empire's fallen.
Oh wow.
Imagine.
Yeah. Because my wife had a good idea. Because there used to be a Kids R Us. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Is just add some more toys to Babies R Us and just rebrand it as Kids R Us, and then because Babies R Us does have a toy section even for up to 4 or 5 year olds. It's so I think you can probably squeeze in some space for toys and stuff, and then Kids R Us. I don't know. It's sad because didn't Toys R Us also take over FAO Schwartz?
Yeah, there's really no more. Right? That's kind of it for toy stores. I mean,
there's no big brand toy stores.
No.
It's pretty much Walmart and Target would be.
Yeah, Walmart, Target, and Amazon.
And Amazon, and then I made reference on it on Facebook the other day. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Child World at all?
No.
Mm. Yeah, we had one down near me growing up. And actually, Child World closed, and they put a Toys R Us there in place of it. But Child World was like a big toy store chain in the '80s. I think it was out of Massachusetts, so it's probably maybe it was East Coast. That's anyone that you know. Uh,
No, tell you, I go to Toys R Us every year for the kids, Dan's kids, Mike's
yeah,
kids. You know,
yeah. No,
every,
Marty's not kids
everyone I
yet,
know.
but
Yeah.
everyone he does know has kids, and then I think we've talked about Marty's Meatball Christmas on the show before.
Yeah.
So it's now split into two Meatball Christmases. But now that that you're
Hopefully not soon.
yeah now that you're gonna hopefully get more space, maybe you can have one. Just get it all in one shot. Have a bunch of kids running around. You have to learn how to baby proof though, man. Kid proof. Yeah.
That'll be much more of an issue in the bigger place, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah. I assume. Well, you can do is just get a room, put some toys in it, and lock the
Yeah,
kids in that
that'll,
room.
that'll be the idea. Hopefully.
Toy dungeon of sorts. So yeah, I mean, Ingrid Goes West. Listen, if you got Hulu, check it out.
Yeah,
I think you enjoy 75%.
Like, I mean, I could see why this would never be a theater movie. So,
Mhm.
but this is why we have the Hulus and the Netflixes. You know, they have these kind of movies have an audience.
Yeah.
And then and then Elizabeth can make her money doing Avengers.
That's right. That's right. She can do a little thing like this.
And hopefully Aubrey has good residuals from Parks and Rec.
Yep. What do we got coming out? Do we have anything coming out recently? I assume.
Ready Player One's coming out in 2 weeks. It's getting some actually decent word of mouth. It was out in South by Southwest, I believe.
Yep.
And it got actually good reviews to start. It's been a funny thing that happened this week with the box office. Wrinkle in Time
bombed. We knew that was going to happen.
But I've heard some people, I've seen some people on Twitter catch shit for pointing that out.
Really?
Like, I don't know if it was a Hollywood Reporter or, one of those.
Are you not allowed to be anti-Oprah?
You're not allowed to not point out that the tweet I saw was Wrinkle in Time fails to pass Black Panther, in Black Panther's whatever his fourth week, I think at this point.
And it's made $1 billion.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Black Panther's a monster, but by fourth week,
Bravo.
Wrinkle in Time should have beat that thing with all the money they put into it, all the marketing.
It should have.
We've been seeing trailers for that movie since back in fucking September.
Absolutely.
And so the idea that did not open #1 is a failure.
Yeah.
Bottom line. But the idea was this is the first time ever that the #1 and #2 spots at the box office were both black directors.
Hey, well, that's awesome. That's a good story.
The notion that they didn't point that out above, as the main story, and not that Wrinkle Time is, critically panned and not making any money, was somehow offensive. So,
so this Friday, Tomb Raider. No interest in seeing that.
It's surprising that's not getting more buzz because Alicia Vikander is a pretty big star. And
is she? I don't know who she is.
She won the Oscar for. Fuck.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
The movie with Oscar Isaac.
She won an Oscar. I don't know who she is. Some kind of movie show we are. I don't even know. You don't know the movie, and I don't know the actress.
I've always forget the name of the movie.
I like the guy who plays the villain in it, though. He was on.
Oh yeah, he was from our all the FX shows, basically.
He was on Vice Principals. Well, he was on Vice Principals. He was really good.
Walter Goggins.
Walter Goggins. Love Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins is amazing. He's so
Dominic
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that has not even gotten a big ad push, really, this week.
And then the following Friday...
Ex Machina. That's what she won the Oscar.
Yeah, Ex Machina. Okay. Yeah, the following Friday is interesting. Pacific Rim Uprising comes out. That's the big budget movie.
Is that going up right against Ready Player One?
No. Ready Player One's the following week.
Okay.
So Pacific Rim has a full week to itself. I'm worried about that at the box office. But the movie I'm interested in seeing that weekend is Isle of Dogs.
Wow, yeah, that's look really fun. The Paul Thomas Anderson one.
No.
No, wasn't it?
It's not P.T. Anderson. No, it's
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. Yeah, P.T. Anderson was found, right?
Yeah.
Wes Anderson. Yeah. That looks really good. So
That's a weird weekend to do that. That should be out this weekend against really nothing.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But I don't see the same audience going to see Pacific Rim as Isle of Dogs. You know?
Well, Isle of Dogs is not even it's kind of a kid movie, but not too much.
It's not. It's just PG-13. So
yeah. I mean, it's about dogs, but it's about killing dogs, basically.
And then, let's see, looking at the calendar. So, Ready Player One's March 30th. We have a couple of weeks of just kind of nothing.
We can go see
Super Troopers 2 comes out.
God's Not Dead 3.
All right. Sounds good. God's Not Dead. A Light in Darkness, I believe it's called. Right before Easter time, right?
Those are those fucking Kirk Cameron movies.
Oh, really?
Is it
Left Behind or at least something else? No? Probably not Left Behind. It's probably something else. Super Troopers comes out on 4/20, of course. Then Avengers comes out April 27th.
Yeah, they moved that up a week.
Yeah. Probably because they didn't want to cannibalize on. They didn't want to go into Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 comes out the 18th of May.
There was some talk with that this week. Apparently, they're doing some reshoots.
You got Solo comes out end of May.
Yeah, May's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
As far as it's hard to go see three of these fucking movies in 1 month. $50 a pop, essentially.
Yeah, so it's May. May we got Avengers, Solo, and Deadpool. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to choose which one I want to see in the Dolby, because I don't think I can swinging all three for those fucking things.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, that's a rough month. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Isle of Dogs. I hope I can swing that. If I can swing that, maybe we'll review that in a few weeks. I already told Erin that we'll have to arrange it so she can see it. The same as we did with Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
It's just sad. Yeah, it's sad that it's come to that as adults that we have kids, so we can't go to the movies together. I miss going to the movies with my wife. I miss doing things with my wife. Yeah.
Well, what's Annie now? 5?
She's 5. She's 5.
We got 5 more years until she can babysit. I don't know.
Pretty much. Right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, man, if we just had a 5-year-old, it would be so much easier. We got a 5 and a 1-year-old. So, it happens.
Well,
everyone I know is having kids. Like, everyone's having a second kid, too.
Yeah, I'm getting lapped here.
Eddie's having a second kid, right?
It's got the second one coming.
Devo's having a second kid.
I did not know that one.
Oh, breaking news.
Wow, we're breaking it here. We break news and movies and stuff about people you don't know who are having kids.
No, right. I don't even know if that's public knowledge yet, so maybe just
we don't get
that.
We don't get that many views lately.
To the 35 views that we get.
This one might get, because the last thing we got good views on was the Bright movie.
Yeah, probably
so
not.
Some of these streamers we get a little more.
Maybe. I don't know.
Clicks on.
Yeah. No, so most of our friends are having the second kid. I'm assuming that they'll stop at the second kid. If they're smart, they will stop at the second kid.
I only know one with the 3.
Kids. John has 3 kids, right? Yeah. Well, Manny has...
3, but 2 came before.
Sure. He inherited 2. Two were bequeathed onto him. Yeah. All right. So that's Ingrid Goes West. Let's talk some Irish movies. You, of course, will talk about your favorite.
Well, there's your 3 levels of Irish movies. There's the start of it all, which is Daniel Day-Lewis's and Leonardo DiCaprio, of course, and Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York, fantastic.
I love it. I mean, it doesn't get as much credit as I think it deserves. It's on Showtime way too much, I say. It's on every day.
It's got some uneven performances. It's a tad too long.
Yeah, but it's just epic.
But Liam Neeson is great in it as well.
Yeah, he could have had a whole more to do in that movie.
I think he's great in the short role he had. Leo is good in it. Just Daniel Day-Lewis is just...
It's just a powerhouse.
Just remarkable.
It's not even fair how good he is in that movie.
I have to say, it's just not fair. Yes, I agree. So, Gangs of New York.
So there's that level of Irish where it's the Irish coming over the boat, essentially. And
Talia, I got a funny story about the commitments. I'll tell you that in a minute.
Yeah, so the original Irish come over the boat. and treated like shit essentially, and acting like shit essentially. So it's a fun. It's the start of us basically.
Yep.
And then you take that all the way to the end of it, which is Departed.
Departed, great movie.
Which is fucking Boston Irish, which is the worst of the Irish.
They are. I love them, but they're terrible.
I also watched. It's on now. I forget what channel. It might have been HBO or Showtime, whatever it was. Patriots Day.
Oh god.
And it's exhausting with the fucking accents. I swear to God.
That's Mel, right? Yeah.
No, that's
no, Patriots Day is Wahlberg. I'm thinking
that's the Boston.
Yeah.
No, the Patriot. No, the Boston bombing movie.
Yep.
Nothing worse than this Boston. A Boston accent is horrible. Worse than that is the fake Boston accent when it's coming out of John Goodman, Kevin Bacon, and Mark Wahlberg has his own Boston accent, but then when he's doing these fake cop Boston posts, he fucking amps it up a bit.
Well, so does Matt Damon. So does Ben
Affleck. Ben Affleck
they
in the town.
it. It's just ridiculous.
There is a point in the town, another Irish movie actually, where there are three. It's just the word "cops" is said like 5 times in one sentence, and you just want to kill yourself. You just
fucking cops. Yeah, it's terrible.
So yeah, those are your levels of Irish. There's not, and then Brooklyn, which is the kinder Irish movie, I suppose, which is Saoirse Ronan coming over later than Gangs of New York, of course, in more of the, set in the, I want to say the 20s or 30s, and more of the Irish people coming over and finding a place and working hard. So there's the levels of what the Hollywood thinks of the Irish, basically.
Satali's made some good ones. Gone Baby Gone, very good movie. I like Gone Baby Gone. It's very good. Mystic River, really good movie. I think same writer. I think Dennis Lehane wrote both of them. The Commitments. I saw The Commitments movie theater near my town that just opened. It was like 50-cent movies, and it was just opening weekend, so I saw The Commitments on. I love In the Name of the Father. Fantastic. Another Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Well, he's our best export, really.
He's tremendous. You got what was the other one I just thought of? Jeez, it's escaping me. It's probably another Daniel. No, it's Liam Neeson. Michael Collins. Michael Collins is another one. Pretty good movie. I saw that.
Black Mass is kind of an Irish movie. It's set.
Yeah,
it's kind of the real life version of The Departed.
The Departed, yeah. And
Johnny Depp is great in that movie.
Right.
He also almost makes the Irish accent palatable. But what Cumberbatch is Irish in that movie is fucking awful.
He's so uneven as an actor too. It's Cumberbatch.
He can do English well, and he can do American English well, but he tried to do the Irish accent. It just didn't work out.
So do we just consider anything that Daniel Day-Lewis pretty much his early career in his because you got My Left Foot? Consider that an Irish movie? Do we consider The Boxer? Is those Irish movies, or is it just because he's an Irish dude?
I mean, I wouldn't call those Irish movies. They're just star an Irish guy.
Right.
The Fighter was another Irish movie.
Yeah, Fighter's pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, do you know the story behind the Fighter as well as Darren Aronofsky, who did The Wrestler?
Yeah.
Was initially supposed to do The Fighter as well as his follow-up, and decided.
Probably better off that he didn't do it. He would have added some level of fucking awfulness to that.
What are you talking about?
He would have made a little more to it. Was a true story, so it would have been hard for him to take that on and not add some kind of
Stop it. Over the top. Darren Aronofsky's amazing. He's
I like him
treasure.
in most things.
He's a treasure.
He would have added something to it.
Maybe.
But that movie as well showed the Shanny Irish family at its best with the fucking the
Bale.
mother.
Bale was fantastic though.
Bale was just great on his own as the kind of cokehead
brother. Yeah.
But the mother and the sisters fighting and screaming and oh Jesus Christ, that was too much of a. It was too on the nose for me.
How about Celtic Pride?
Oh wow, that was a good one. A lot of Boston movies.
There are a lot of Boston movies, and I'm a Celtics fan. You grew up in the '80s. Listen, you grew up in the '80s. If you weren't a Knicks fan, from this area, right? Yeah. In the '80s, we're talking about '80s. If you were not a Knicks fan from this area, you're pretty much a Celtics fan, because you didn't like LA, because LA was, especially with TV back in the 80s is you can never watch an LA game. You can never watch a Lakers game really unless they played an East Coast team. And of course,
and if you're from South Jersey, you're kind of a little racist, maybe. Then you.
I'm not from South Jersey though. I'm not from South Jersey. Listen, I'm from Hudson County. I was born in Jersey City. I'm a Hudson County guy. I lived in Plainfield, which is not South Jersey.
No,
and even Keensburg is exit 117. That's not South Jersey.
It has all the makings of it.
I shared a bay with New York City. How the hell am I South Jersey? You explain that to me, Martin.
So does Staten Island, but that's not fixing anything over there.
Staten Island, no. We can't talk about them. No, they don't even they're on a map of their own. Oh my god, which reminded me of one of the funniest things I've seen all weekend is I saw a tweet from the Flat Earthers. Oh. And it's like this was their tweet. We have strong members around the globe.
I just hope they're fucking with you at that point.
You know, I'm like, well, first I started thinking about Kyrie Irving. As a Celtics fan, it's rough for me to have Kyrie Irving on my team. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, this guy's flat earther. But yeah, I grew up as a Celtics fan. I enjoy Boston. Boston's a fun city. I mean, but we're very, very white. So.
Yeah, we can fit it. As long as I'm not wearing a Yankee hat, I can fit in pretty well there and not get bothered. So.
No, I wore my Rondo jersey to Fenway. Yeah, because I was tempted to wear my my Pedro Martinez jersey. All right. That was fun. That was a fun time. All went to Fenway.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we were good enough seats where we didn't get beat up, so it was helpful.
Yeah. I came across a Facebook post I'd done about that because I had bought the tickets for that game, and then like the following day, like StubHub like messaged me, is like, "Happy 2-year anniversary. Here's 20% off. Your next order." And I was like so mad. I'm like, God damn it! I made a comment. It's like I usually procrastinate. Here I'm trying to be proactive about something. Yeah. Talia's the only person in the chat. Thank you so much for just keeping the chat going. Just saying, Waking Ned Divine, blown away with Tommy Lee Jones. You grew up in New Brunswick, Talia. I was just in New Brunswick today. It's really funny. I had no idea Talia grew up in New Brunswick. I didn't know Talia lived in Jersey. Things you learn on our show. This is amazing.
I don't know why she never told us that, as she's been on our show.
Yeah. How have we never talked about Jersey, Talia? You know we're from Jersey. Talia, next time you're on.
We're doing Garden State. There you go.
Yeah, we have to plan better so we can actually have guests on. So we can.
Funny thing about the Irish is that I have a friend that worked with us, who then moved out, to the California office, and it was like, oh, we doing St. Patrick's. I was like, there's no Irish out here. We never left.
No, we don't like the sun.
They landed here. They stayed in New York. They got as far as Boston, and that was about it.
Cold and gray in Ireland. Cold and gray here on the East Coast. It's honestly.
So I kind of wonder how these movies play. Not in this area. I mean, The Departed, of course, was great. That won the Oscar. Yeah. So that was a fairly well received movie.
Listen, In the Name of the Father did really well. The Boxer.
Brooklyn,
no, Boxer, not The Boxer.
Yeah,
the Boxer, the fighter,
and the fighter.
Yeah, My Left Foot. Even though I don't know if that's an Irish movie or not. It didn't win the Oscar, but Gangs of New York was heavily nominated, right?
Yeah. He didn't win for that, did he?
No. Scorsese only won for Departed, right?
I meant Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, no. Who beat him? That's not even like it comes to the point.
He definitely sucks. Whatever happened.
Right. Okay. Gangs. I'm gonna New York. Let's see. That was 2002 Best Actor. Let's see. It was Denzel for Training Day. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what? It's not Daniel Day-Lewis's fault that Denzel didn't win for Malcolm X.
No. It's great performance in Training Day. Listen, I'm not gonna take anything away from Denzel for Training Day, but
nowhere close.
Yeah.
I mean, but we get into that with the Oscars sometimes, where guys win for roles they didn't deserve to win because they got screwed some other time.
Talia's saying she did her senior thesis about Irish migrating to America because of the famine. Wow. How about Fievel Goes West? Or American Tail, Fievel. Is that an Irish movie? Is that all about the Irish? An Irish mouse?
The Irish did not go west.
Is that Mickey O'Mouse?
You guys are going?
Mouse. All right. Yeah. Just got sued by Disney right there. There's our block. We just got a community strike for saying Mickey O'Mouse. Great. It's like they don't want to be associated with the Irish. Disney wants nothing to do with the Irish. Come on.
That's some final paper though. Jeez.
Really. We got anything else? You got any news? We have anything?
Not much. We touched on what's coming up in the box office. It's been a fairly quiet couple of weeks for sexual harassment.
That we know of. No, who just got hit? Stranger Things. Not sexual harassment. He got hit for just
there
abuse.
was
Abuse. Stranger Things.
So we're not going to get anything good out of that. There's nothing good anymore. We can't have
good things. We can't have nice things. It's such a shame.
Speaking of Hulu, like as we did with the Ingrid Goes West, of course, I finished the Brockmire, which you recommended.
How'd you like it?
It was very helpful that it was snowy out, and we could just kind of watch those at 20 minutes or so in a block.
Yeah.
So that was the whole that was just one season so far?
One season. They got another one coming out in April. Yeah, season 2 comes out in April. So I'll give it a month. The opening 5 minutes of that series.
Oh, yeah.
Where he has his
meltdown. It's really cool how they do it, where they kind of going back in time and going forward.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Fun. And then his press conference, it's like, I can smell her. I can smell her on my clothes. I can smell her on my clothes. She's on my skin. What do I do? So, it really is a great performance by Hank Azaria, and I hope that season 2 gets a little bit more recognition for how great of a performance it is. Because I love Hank Azaria. He's a national treasure. He really we deserve more Hank Azaria in our lives.
I like the kid in it. I liked.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
And then also on, I watched the first 4 episodes of the Looming Tower. It's the it's pre 9/11 FBI versus CAA story.
You were telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hulu's kind of weird. They put the first 3 episodes on, and then they're gonna just do a new one every Wednesday. So I hope I don't forget that it's on, because that'll happen. It's weird. It's got 9/11 terrorism mixed in with a weird, romance shit involved. So I don't know why they kind of felt the need to do that.
That's what I think of. Anytime I think of 9/11, I think of just...
Yeah. It's just this like they threw in a whole storyline with what the fuck's his name? The guy from I gotta stop drinking. I'm losing all types of memory. The Newsnight guy.
Newsnight.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
But he's the head of the FBI.
Okay. I've seen commercials for it. Yeah,
and he's like but they have a whole storyline where has a mistress and a wife and another mistress, and it's like we don't need this for this story. And it said like, if you do watch a show, don't look up his real character in real life.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of sad.
Okay, we'll do that.
What winds up happening?
Have you watched Hap and Leonard at all?
No.
It's on Sundance Channel. Marty. Great show. It's now in season 3. Yeah, this is season 3 of Hap and Leonard. It's so good. It's got James Purefoy.
Okay.
He was in Rome. Yeah, he was in Rome, and he was also in that Kevin Bacon The Following show. James Purefoy. And it also has Michael K. Williams from The Wire.
And Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Was going to be in Han Solo, but then got cut.
Hap and Leonard. So fantastic. Talia, do you watch Hap and Leonard? Please tell me you watch Hap and Leonard. If not, go watch Hap and Leonard. Everyone go watch Hap and Leonard. It's so amazing. Hashtag Synergy. It is written and directed by Jim Mickle, who directed Cold in July, who we interviewed for movies and stuff. In fact, another Hashtag Synergy. Season 1, we had an actor who was in season 1. We talked to him about American Psycho as well. Bill. I'm calling on his last name. His name is Bill. Bill, go through our archives. Just watch all of our interviews.
Sure.
Stuff. Yeah. I don't think you've even watched all of our.
They're not even on the fucking. You can't. We've been pumping up this.
The Sam Rockwell thing.
We've been pumping up Sam Rockwell for months now. We still don't have.
We gotta get it out there. Yeah.
We could have got some clicks on that.
We probably could have. Yeah. Some good stuff in that Sam Rockwell interview. That was a fun time.
Live just did it.
Yeah. No. There's like that was. I don't even know if he knew he was being interviewed. I think he just thought he was talking to us. I swear. I'm serious. He was just like having a chat with us. But that was how cool he was.
Yeah.
You know, it was just. It's like, wait, is this an interview? This was like an hour in. Yeah, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for an hour. Now we're talking. Yeah. What else? What else you got? You watching anything else?
Looks like the Pennsylvania thing will be a final countdown kind of thing. We're seeing. Democrat is in the lead by 0.4%. So that's going to be your top news story of the morning.
We need more gerrymandering. Not gerrymandering. Yeah, gerrymandering. We need more gerrymandering. That's what we need more of. So
I also caught up with that Gianni Versace show.
Yeah, me too.
It's been very cold and snowy up here in the Northeast, so we have.
Yeah.
It's weird again with this show. I just don't. It's hard to. It's weird how they decided to have every show go back in time.
It's kind of jarring. I like it. I like it, but part of me
in the moments that you like, oh, that's the guy he kills, and it's like you see
part of me has to watch the previous episode again.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, you're always constantly watching the one before to remember what the hell happened. I agree. It's a bit jarring. I like it though.
Oh yeah, it's not doing as well as the OJ one, of course, because just nothing will ever, I guess, capture our curiosity like OJ.
I don't know. I think I'm more interested in this one than I am the OJ one.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm more interested, because I think what was fascinating about the OJ one was the bits that I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. But that after all the things we know about OJ, there were still things
that I learned. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And this one is just fascinating because it's not just about Versace. It's about.
It's almost not about him at all.
No, really. It's if you said it was the Andrew Cunanan story, no one would fucking watch it.
But my problem with that is they're doing so much of the Cunanan story on kind of hearsay or just
everything is hearsay,
filling in the blanks on what they think might have happened. So, it's a great narrative that they're portraying, and it's gripping as hell. But we don't know if any of it happened really.
Yeah, I mean some of it we know from just
we know he killed these people, of course, and we knew
he pushed his mom, how he met. His mom broke her shoulder. There's elements of it. There are some kind of retellings of it. Yes, Robert Melee, you missed it. We actually started exactly at 9 p.m. on time. That happened. That's what happens when I get my kid to bed on time. All right, listen. Let's pick something that we're going to watch soon. We should figure out next week's show within the next day or so we can figure out guests for next week.
So nothing's really coming out.
Listen, we don't have to have guests. Listen, I have so much fun with you, Marty.
This way would have been fun to see kind of how Amanda thought about it though, or something.
I wanted Jamil.
Yeah.
We kept saying that Jamil has to do a white show with us. This would have been a very white show for him to do.
Jamil would have loved the O'Shea character. I think he would have related to his love of Batman and all other things.
I had no idea he was Ice Cube's son, and I in my head when I first saw him, I was like, man, that dude looks like Ice Cube. And then my wife said, hey, that's Ice Cube's son. I was like, oh, thank God, I'm not a racist.
Oh, you didn't see Straight Outta Compton?
I didn't see Straight Outta Compton. No.
Well, he plays Ice Cube in it.
Yeah, I'm aware of that now. I've done my research in preparation for the show.
It's not a great movie. It's all right. I mean, it's on HBO now, so. Fine. Yeah, but it's just kind of, again, these movies that we're seeing now where it's telling the stories of stuff that we saw, it's kind of hard to, it's like when it didn't happen that way.
Right.
It's just, that's why I like seeing things about, the 60s, and it's hard. You show me a movie about the mid-90s, I kind of know what that didn't happen that way.
Cool. All right. close out another episode of the Movie Stuff Show. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube. Marty's gonna put some videos all over my face.
Yes, you should watch all of them.
You should watch every single one of them. Let's review Straight Outta Compton. Let's do it. I'll watch it.
Sure.
I'll review it.
Nick will get on there.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. We'll be back next week with an episode. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll talk about Straight Outta Compton. I don't know. Have a good night. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Bye.